Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 6 starts now.
As a desperate search continues for 2-year-old Winter Smith, her father is making an emotional plea to bring his little girl home. And you'll hear from him in just a moment, but we want to first update you tonight on today's developments in the case. Thanks for being with us for the News at 6. I'm Kimberly Gill.
I'm Karen Drew, in for Devin Skillion tonight. The man accused of kidnapping Winter was formally charged today from his hospital bed. 26-year-old Rashad Trice faces several charges, including assault with intent to murder, criminal sexual conduct, and home invasion in connection to an attack on the child's mother. Now, he was arrested Monday after a chase in St. Clair Shores. However, there's still no sign of Winter Smith tonight. Victor Williams live on the story for us. And Victor, you talked to Winter's father about a conversation that he had with the man accused of kidnapping his little girl. Tell us more.
Yeah, that's right. And we'll get to more on that in just a second. But as you can imagine, this man's world is just turned upside down because of all of this. He says the only thing that he wants right now is his baby girl.
Every morning, I wake up, instantly look at my phone, I see her, and then I look at the other bed in the room, and she's not there.
A.J. Smith can't believe his daughter, 2-year-old Winter Cole Smith, is still missing without a trace.
Driving here, I'm looking in the back seat, looking in the rearview mirror, looking in the back seat. She's still not there, and it's not right.
A.J. is here all the way from Tennessee, where he plays football at UT Martin to help with search efforts. The man who's accused of kidnapping Winter was just arraigned on 8 charges in connection to Winter's abduction, along with the brutal sexual assault and stabbing of Winter's mother.
We never really talked. It was just me letting him know, don't play with my family. Don't play with my daughter.
What A.J. can't wrap his mind around is why Trice didn't take his own biological son instead of Winter.
Why my daughter? Why take her?
Despite the charges, Trice's mother believes he's totally innocent.
I say my son don't have nothing to do with that baby.
You stay with him, you raised him, you know his tendencies, you know his jealousness.
Either way, A.J. just wants to be reconnected with his daughter, who he says has an extremely bright future.
I just want her. She got her whole life ahead of her, and for it to be taken so quick, I hope it didn't. I just want her to be found. I want her to be with me. That's it.
And remember, the FBI is offering a $25,000 reward for anyone who has information that can lead to Winter's whereabouts. If you know anything at all, you can contact them at 1-800-CALL-FBI. Victor Williams, Local 4.
So hard to fathom what AJ is going through. Of course, we'll be keeping everyone updated on this story. Victor, we appreciate it.
Well, one Detroit neighborhood dealing with water main break after water main break. People living on Snowden say it started first thing yesterday morning. Not ideal for 4th of July plans, that's for sure. But they say this isn't the first time. In fact, we spoke to them last summer about the same issue. Megan Woods joins us live. Megan, you reached out to the city's water department. What'd they have to say?
Well, the city says now the water is back on and no homes were flooded, but that's just this time. The neighbors we spoke to say this is becoming routine and they want a long-term fix.
I'm actually getting water to flush my toilets with. Woke up yesterday, 7 o'clock in the morning, to find out that I didn't have water.
It's no way to live, but the people who live on this block of Snowden have had to make it work. Just ask Cheryl McLeese. She's lived here since 1972.
For the last 15, 20 years, that pipe over there just bust. They just put Band-Aids on it.
Even we were here last summer for the same water main break. Neighbors are fed up. Several of them called the water department Tuesday.
They say they don't work on the 4th of July.
It's an inconvenience.
It's because I was supposed to went back to work, but I'm not going to leave my household with no water. So it's costing me money now.
And creating other issues.
Yeah, a car came down here just last night, flying, and almost skidded into the pole right here.
We reached out to the director of Detroit Water and Sewage.
I apologize to the neighborhood that's been affected.
He says it is unusual for one line to have multiple breaks this often and is taking a closer look.
I'm asking my chief operating officer to work with our engineers to put cameras in that line and see if we need to move it up on the schedule for a complete replacement of the line.
And that's all these neighbors want. They want a long time fix so they don't have to wake up another morning and figure out that their water is off and that there's water in the street. Now, the director of the water department says that once they get that camera in there, they get the data back pretty quickly, and from there they can figure out if they can move them up in the line when it comes to replacements. Reporting live, I'm Megan Woods, Local 4.
I can understand their frustration, and hopefully they get it fixed for good. Megan, thank you.
Now to a Local 4 News update. More charges are dropped against a former teacher accused of sexually assaulting students. Last week, Wayne County Prosecutor Kim Worthy dropped charges against James Baird for 2 cases in Garden City. Today, charges were dropped for 2 other cases in Westland. Worthy says the charges were dismissed after further investigation. Baird was employed as a vision specialist, teaching children who are blind or have low vision. Prosecutors say the charges have been dismissed without prejudice, meaning the cases can be refiled.
The family of a man shot and killed at a Detroit gas station suing Exxon Mobil for $100 million. Police say there was an altercation over beef jerky between the clerk and Anthony McNary at the station on West Verner Highway. Clerk kicked him out, locked the doors, but prosecutors say he still used a handgun to fatally shoot the 24-year-old McNary through the locked door. Attorneys for the victims' estate say Exxon bears some responsibility for creating an environment where profits are more valued than customer safety.
This is a call to you, Exxon. Maybe take one less private trip to a fancy golf course and come here to Detroit and help us out. We could use your help.
It should not be commonplace that when we go to a gas station in our neighborhoods, we have to worry about the clerk being armed. Being armed. I've never gone to Walmart and the cashier there was armed.
The gas station clerk is charged with first-degree murder. We've reached out to Exxon for their response. We've not heard back.
Officials in Genesee County are trying to determine what spilled into the Flint River last week. On June 29th, a large spill was seen in the water near the Utah Avenue Bridge in the city of Flint. The county sheriff's office released an update yesterday saying a no contact order remains in place and state officials are still working to identify this substance. The sheriff's office says it has not had any reports of wildlife being affected. Still, the public is urged to stay away from that area of the river and not eat any fish caught in it. The city says the water system remains unaffected. After getting off to a rocky start last week, the trip back home for millions of July 4th air travelers is expected to be smoother.
The summer travel season, though, isn't expected to cool down, but there are some lessons that can be learned from this record-breaking travel weekend. Summer travel is booming as millions of Americans skip town for Independence Day getaways.
This July 4th period is record-breaking for the travel industry.
TSA screened more than 2.88 million people last Friday, the most in a single day since the founding of the agency in late 2001. But a meltdown at United Airlines early last week, followed by severe storms across much of the country, led to long delays and thousands of cancellations leading up to and throughout the holiday travel period.
Absolutely horrific.
Leaving many passengers stranded.
Flight got canceled Tuesday, stayed in a hotel. I stood in line for 4 hours at 4 o'clock in the morning to rebook the flight.
And putting airlines to the test.
It was just kind of a catastrophic event. Some airlines were just not able to kind of get on the right foot.
Travel expert Katie Nastro says travelers flying this week should have better luck.
I think people should just be cautiously optimistic, not only looking forward into the rest of this week if they're traveling home, but as well looking into the rest of the summer.
And if you do have an upcoming trip planned, Nastro says to avoid travel trauma, try to book morning departures, prioritize nonstop flights, and be prepared for crowds.
Always give yourself more time than you need, especially the fact that we are going to be seeing more people traveling and, again, longer lines pretty much everywhere.
United Airlines is handing out 30,000 frequent flyer miles to soothe angry travelers who were caught in July 4th weekend air travel gridlock. All right, well, it's been Hot and muggy all day today across Metro Detroit.
It really has. Let's get over to Brian Sherman. He is in for Kim Adams tonight. Brian, how long is this muggy weather going to stick around?
Karen and Kimberly, I think about another 12 to 18 hours. We will get some relief from that humidity, but it comes in the form of showers and thunderstorms as we head into our Thursday. Most everybody into the upper 80s to lower 90s across the lower portions of the state this afternoon. We're down to 88 here in Detroit after we were at 90 not too long ago. 90 right now in Troy, 89 in Howell, as well as in Flint. 90 right now as you work into Lansing, 86 in Grand Rapids, and 87 in Kalamazoo. But with the heat and humidity comes those chances for showers and thunderstorms. Exact Track 4D radar has a few of them starting to work well to the southwest of Howell over in Livingston County, south of White Oak. Moving off to the east, a very small shower has developed, and then working down into Adrian County, tracking some thunder showers as well. Lightning showing up right around Clayton, to the south of Onstead, and just to the west of Adrian. So we'll hold on to an isolated thunder shower this evening. Better chances of storms roll in tomorrow. That's the story for most of the state, but the clouds are starting to increase off to the west. Expect that to be in our forecast overnight tonight. Temperatures dropping only into the 70s before those storms arrive tomorrow. I'll time out when the rain moves into your neighborhood, and your complete forewarned forecast coming up in just a few minutes.